Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Optoma Tech Talk. Today, we're going to talk about Optoma Creative Touch Interactive Flat Panels for Education. Today, with me is Roland Hamilton.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you.
And my name is Bob Gettner. So today, we want to kick this off by talking a little bit about Optoma. For those of you who are not familiar with Optoma, we'll talk a little bit, about 5 minutes, about Optoma Technologies and some of the basic features of our Creative Touch interactive flat panels. Again, that's branded Creative Touch. Also, we want to talk about how the interactive flat panels are used in education. We're going to address many of the questions that came in as you registered for the Tech Talk. We received many questions that we will address. And then at the end, we want to talk a little bit about the CARES funding and talk about a few case studies that we also have. We also have a giveaway. We have an ML750 LED portable projector. It's a fantastic little projector that weighs less than a pound. The way that you'll get a chance to earn the giveaway is to answer one question correctly at the end of the Tech Talk. Go to your Q&A box, open that up, and type in the answer. Again, that'll be the last slide of the Tech Talk today.
Yeah, and before we advance, want to just point out that at the top right-hand portion of your screen, if you're joining us from a desktop application, there's going to be a view button up there. And if you drop down the view options, we've designed this presentation so that if you put it into the standard view, you're going to get a little picture-in-picture of whoever's talking. And we've left a space in the upper right corner of the presentation where you can put that picture-in-picture of the speaker. And be aware that if you grab one of the corners of that little piece of video, you can resize it to kind of maximize your view. And also familiarize yourself with where that question and answer box is, because that's where you're going to enter the correct answer to win at the end.
Great. All right, a little bit about Optoma Technologies. Optoma's been around for over 20 years now, one of the first portable projector manufacturers in the market. And since then, we've had many, many generations of projectors. We have displays that run all the way from small room projectors all the way up to auditorium-sized projectors. Along in our product line, we've launched Creative Touch flat panels, interactive flat panels, that we're on our third generation of the technology now. And we also have direct view LED displays that are all-in-one displays that are typically used for signage applications. So again, we do have a comprehensive line of products for the education market, whether it's a projector or interactive flat panel. Be aware that Optoma is the #1 DLP projector supplier and the #1 1080p DLP leader in the Americas. We work very closely with Texas Instruments to develop our technology, our projectors. We use their DLP chips in our products, and typically we launch the newer technologies in advance of many of the other projector manufacturers out there. Also, we are a world-leading brand in 4K UHD projection resolution technology. That includes home theater and professional type projectors. And be aware also that we have US-based technical support. So in the field, we have region sales managers. We also have Roland and myself who are in the technical engineering side. And for post-sales support, we have customer service based right in Fremont, California. So, they're working in the same time zone as many of our customers, and we're available during your working hours as well. So how are IFPs used in education? Well, first, to introduce the line, we have 3 different models available. We have 65-inch, 75-inch, and 86-inch models. So depending on your room size and how you're using the projector, you can pick the right size. Also keep in mind that even if you use a 65-inch panel, and you have a small classroom, you can connect a projector to the output of the Creative Touch panel and display all of the content that you're working on the flat panel on a big screen in the classroom as well. So that's really a handy feature on these products. So these projectors, or I'm sorry, these interactive flat panels are used for face-to-face, in-person in the classroom. As you can see, you can have a classroom with a teacher in front using the flat panel. It could be just used as a flat panel for a display or for interactive display. You can also use these panels, connect a camera and a microphone, and you can have remote learning capabilities. So the students can be viewing this at a remote location, or they can be viewing it right in the classroom wirelessly. Also for distance learning, so you have a hybrid solution for distance learning and face-to-face. You can do a combination of both. But also keep in mind you can record these sessions as well. So with the push of a button on the flat panel, you can record all the content and the student can view that at a later date. Maybe they missed the class, they want to view it, or maybe they just want to review the lesson plan and they can access that file as well. Some of the different configurations, the flat panels are really flexible displays. Number one, it's like a giant tablet. So think of anything you can do on your smartphone, you can do it on the Creative Touch panel. Basically, you have an Android operating system. You can connect with the internet. You can surf the internet. So there's a lot of different things you can do with them, just using them as a giant tablet or a smartphone. Also, you can just connect a basic source, a PC or a Blu-ray player, and display that image. And by connecting another USB cable from the computer to the Creative Touch panel, you have an interactive display that can also be used to control the functions of the connected computer. So it's a great resource to have in the classroom. And also as a standalone device, if you want an all-in-one PC type display setup, so you have the touch screen, the processing capability, the storage capability, you can add a slot-in PC, which we call an OPS. And so you can just plug that into the back of the Creative Touch panel and use it as an all-in-one display and PC. So just as a quick review, in case there's some people out there not familiar with our Creative Touch panels, the basic hardware information on these is they're 4K UHD resolution, so high resolution displays. And also the graphic user face is 4K resolution, which is kind of a newer development in the interactive panel. So look for that when you're looking for a display. Also, it's got the latest design. So again, we said this was a 3rd generation product for us. It has faster hardware, more accurate touch points. So it's really 1.5 millimeter accuracy, which is very close touch points for your finger or the pen that ships with the flat panel. Also, it has 16-watt speakers built in, so it fills the room with sound. If you don't have external speakers, you can use the speaker system within the interactive flat panel. Built-in media player. If you plug in a USB drive that has content in it, the Creative Touch panel can be used to open up that content and display it. Also, the quick draw pen. It has a holder built in to the side of the interactive flat panel. When you pick up the pen, the screen automatically switches over to whiteboarding. So you have that capability for on-screen annotations. And then also, any device that you have 4 different HDMI connections. So you can plug in multiple sources, multiple interactive computers. You also have a number of USB inputs. So that works with the cabling that connects to the computer, but also can be used for adding storage onto the interactive flat panel, as well as displaying content from those USB drives. Some of the basic software information. This has the most recent Android 8 operating system for interactive flat panels. It has the faster software, so fast response time. You have 32 gigabytes of storage on the unit itself and a 4 gigabyte random access memory, so you have a very fast processor built in. Again, you have that LAN and RS-232 control capabilities. File management. File management is amazing because you can open up your USB drives, you can store information on the Creative Touch panel, you can connect a computer, and you can also go to the cloud and download your information off the cloud. You have recording function, again, a push of a button to record your sessions. App Marketplace, Roland's going to cover a lot of that information. There's a number of apps that are available for you. And plug and play. Some people ask, what's plug and play really mean? It just means that when you plug in your computer, it's automatically going to sync up with your display, and there's really no settings that you have to change. It's just really simple connectivity. So again, with the different operating systems that are available today, you can work with Windows and Mac and Chrome. Wirelessly, you can use the different software that's available on your smartphones and tablets, your Android and iOS operating systems.
Yeah, and in terms of that plug and play connectivity capability, many educators may be familiar with the older interactive projection systems where you had to spend time recalibrating them. The newer panels, the interactive panels, are completely different in the regard that there's no calibration necessary. You basically connect them to your laptop or desktop, and it's very easy to use. That's
great. All right, so I want to cover some of the different accessories that you can also add on to the Creative Touch panel. One is the slot-in PCs that were mentioned. There's a couple different models that have different processing power and different storage capabilities. You can also use third-party Intel certified type slot-in PCs. The Wi-Fi module is available, so you plug that into the back of the interactive flat panel, and you can connect with your wireless devices, whether it's a smartphone or a tablet. It also has we have a basic wall mount that's available, so it's you just put that on the wall, or you can use it with the mobile stand and cart that we have that's available. So you can move the flat panel easily from one room to the next, or off to the side in the classroom. So we're going to start addressing all of the questions that we received. You can see that we've got some pretty good questions that came in. So let's kick this off. All right, first question, Roland. Are there features to help reduce eye strain?
Yeah, thanks very much, Bob. As you may be aware, most video monitors, whether they're LCD, direct view LED, or LED backlit, they all produce blue light pretty heavily. And they also, monitors inherently have a flicker due to the refresh rate and how the backlight dimming is modulated. And both blue light and the flickering of monitors are proven, and this has been known for some time, that they cause both eye strain and fatigue. So this can be a particular issue for educators in the classroom as well as students, because we tend to have long class sessions and use these monitors for an extended period of time. So at Optoma, we've built in to our Creative Touch interactive panel line a one-touch method of reducing the blue light, as well as a flicker-free function. And these functions, when they're enabled, are certified by independent lab to Rhineland to be safe and very comfortable on the eyes. So we've included those functions that are really a pleasure to use, and it makes the panel much easier and much more comfortable to use for extended periods. Keep in mind, we've also built in a couple different auto dimming features. One, this latest generation of panels from Optoma, we've built in an ambient light sensor, so that as the room lighting changes based on the amount of light coming in from outside, as it gets overcast, or it maybe perhaps the sky clears and the room brightens up, the panel adjusts light automatically, or the brightness level automatically, which keeps the light level, or the panel brightness, at that perfect level, so that you don't have to strain to see the content. These panels feature an anti-glare coating, which is also quite helpful in rejecting outside light, which can make it hard to see, which causes the viewers to squint, and it causes eye strain. And we've also got we've built a feature into our digital whiteboard application, which as educators using the panel, I'm going to show you a shot of it in just a moment. When you're using the digital whiteboard application, we've built in a feature. The panel detects when you're writing, and it automatically dims the board when you're writing and looking at it, so that that's another method that we've employed to reduce eye strain and just make it very comfortable to use.
All right. Thanks, Roland. The next question is, what type of security features are included?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Several different answers to that in regard, depending on what exact area we're talking about, what we're securing. So for a start, we've built in a pin application, a screen lock application that basically locks out all function. So you can turn the panel on, turn the panel off, but you can't do anything with it without first entering a 4-digit PIN code. So if you've got panels in classrooms that you don't want touched for whatever reason, it's just not the appropriate time to be using them, they can be permanently locked. So unless that 4-digit PIN code is entered, the panel basically is rendered inoperable for that time. We've also built in some unique hardware security features in the sense that the front USB inputs, you can probably see them on the right side of my picture-in-picture. These front USB inputs can be locked out through the menu, so that if you have these panels in a common space, students or other users, visitors, cannot access the memory of the panels if that feature's been enabled. We've also employed some screen lock features that are accessible from the handheld remote that allow you to lock out touch function and lock out the button functions, but leave the panel running. So say, for example, you have a panel that's in a common space and you're using it for digital signage or to display messaging, etc. While the panel's not necessarily in use, but you want it to display something while not in use, we've employed or embedded features that allow touch lockout and button lockout while still leaving the panel running. And last but not least, Bob already mentioned that we've embedded cloud drive access into our panels. Built into the operating system is access to Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, as well as Dropbox. So we've made it very easy to push and pull your files and content to and from those popular cloud drive services. And we have built in a pin function dedicated to securing just access to those cloud drives, so that if you're a teacher who floats through several different classrooms, or in the course of your day or course of your week, you can feel comfortable logging into your Google or Microsoft account and leaving it logged in on that machine, with the exception that you have to enter your PIN code before accessing those files and folders, etc. So we've built in many different stages, and into the hardware, into the software, into specific features, we've built in a lot of security features in a lot of different places on the Creative Touch panels. Bear with me a moment. Okay, we've advanced. Thank you.
That's great. Yeah, everybody loves to have additional pins to remember. So remember to write those down, put them on a sticky note, and put it right on the front of the display. Another question that came in is what software and apps are available?
Yeah, and this is probably the most frequent question that we get, not only during the registration for this webinar, but just in talking to customers and our dealers. What software is included is probably the number one question we get here at Optoma. And there are several answers to that question, and let's go through a few of them. The top software offerings that we provide. As Bob mentioned, the panels run an Android 8 operating system. I believe that's called Oreo, Android 8 Oreo. So you can do quite a bit with the panels just out of the box. Give them power and internet, and you can browse the web. You can view and edit and create documents, Word documents, PowerPoint, spreadsheets, PDF, etc. Here we see a screenshot of the digital whiteboard. This is a multi-page whiteboard space with all kinds of drawing and color and shape tools. Here you can see how I've employed some of the shape tools in a little geometry lesson. And you can push and pull and import and export all these things to and from the cloud. So there's quite a lot you can do with just the built-in apps. There are about a couple dozen apps that come preloaded on the panel. A couple of them that I want to definitely touch upon. The first is Tapcast. Tapcast is our mobile sharing and collaborative tool. It lets users share content to and from both laptop and desktop computers as well as mobile devices. So if you're sitting in the classroom with teacher permission, you can share from your PC, MacBook, uh, Apple, iOS, iPad, iPhone, Android phone or tablet. And Optoma is the only touchboard manufacturer on the market that enables simultaneous sharing from up to 6 devices at once. So the shot you're looking at on my screen here uh, is a screenshot of sharing from a mix of phones and computers. And I've got 6 devices at once sharing here, and that's very important. And that's an Optoma only feature. Uh, another really strong tool for use in the classroom is AirShare. We've built in an audience polling feature where in the classroom, teachers can deliver quizzes electronically directly to students at their seats, and you can capture exactly who answered how to any particular question that's displayed on screen. So really, really strong audience engagement functionality there. And we do have an app store. We have an Optoma app marketplace. Keep in mind that these panels run Android 8, but they are not the full Google Android operating system. So they don't include the Play Store. No interactive touchboard on the market incorporates the full Google Play Store. It's just a licensing issue with Google. But Optoma, we're a bit different from many of the other technologies on the market in that we do offer an app store. It's an Optoma app marketplace. So as I said, there are a couple dozen applications that come preloaded onto the panel, but we've also made about 30 or 40 different apps, and the number is increasing all the time. We've made a selection of apps available. These apps are appropriate for education, both K-12 and higher ed. Popular apps from the popular news outlets like CNN, BBC, CBC, as well as apps that are geared towards the lower grades, K through 8 and communications apps. And we'll touch upon that again. And so the world of software really opens up. As Bob already mentioned, you can connect these Creative Touch panels to your computers, whether it's a laptop or desktop. You can connect the panel to your computer, and these boards become a big touch board for your computer. Whatever's displaying, normally would be displaying on your laptop screen is now up on the big screen, and you can touch interact with it. So at that point, really any software that you've been working with is available to you. So if your school is already, invested in Google and Chromebooks, or you're a Mac school or a PC, whatever flavor of computing you already do, it's very easy to integrate it with these Creative Touch panels and really just use these as a larger visual tool to create more flexibility and engagement. And so any software you're already working with is essentially compatible with the Creative Touch panels. Here we see an example. This is one of my favorites. This is the Human Anatomy Atlas. It's a PC software. It's really wondrous to work with in 3D. And if you'd like a further demonstration of that, please just click on the link to schedule a virtual demo for you and your organization. And if you're interested in any software in particular, we can try to help show you what that'll look like on these boards. We want to touch on Optoma's new partnership with a company called Vizetto and their product Reactive Suite. Just earlier this month, Optoma announced a new partnership with Vizetto. Moving forward, with every new Creative Touch panel sold, we are including a free 1-year license for the Reactive Suite of software. The Reactive Suite of software includes 2 components, the first of which is Stage, and the second component is Scribble. And as I said, these are powerful software tools, and you get a free 1-year license with them. Stage is a presentation platform. It lets you deliver presentations in a non-linear fashion. And if you're interested, please, we'd be happy to share more information. We're going to provide in the follow-up email to you links where you can click and read more about all the topics that we've touched upon. So if you want more information, we'll certainly make it available. Reactive Scribble is the second half of the Reactive Suite. It's a bit more appropriate for education in the sense that it's an infinite canvas digital whiteboard that runs on the PC, and you can drag into this engaging space all sorts of documents and materials that you already have on your computer. If you're interested in a demo of it, please get in touch with us and we'll be happy to help you. It's something that's certainly more appropriate for grades 9 through 12 in higher education, and we'll be happy to tell you all about that. And here's a quick lifestyle shot of people using the Vizetto Reactive Suite in higher education.
All right. Another common question that we received several times is, can these interactive displays pair with web cameras?
That is probably the second most common question we get behind what software is included. And yes, these panels, they do not include any type of camera, but they are certainly compatible with just about any camera on the market. So I often use my Logitech C920 webcam. The panels themselves have 5 USB 3.0 inputs, so plenty of spots to connect your camera, and you can certainly, they are compatible with the vast majority of web cameras out there. And here we see some of the icons of the online meeting or video teleconference platforms that we're compatible with, and we include these apps either preloaded or on our app store. It's kind of a mix, but you can, when you connect a webcam to the Creative Touch panel, you can use it to video chat or video cast using Skype, GoToMeeting, Teams, Zoom, as well as Cisco WebEx. And I know between those, we've pretty much covered everything used, certainly in K-12 and higher ed. And in addition to being able to interface with these video chat applications, we've built in another really unique feature of Creative Touch versus others in the space. We have a screen recording app built right in. So when you connect a webcam, you can create videos capturing what's on screen along with a picture-in-picture of the presenter, teacher, instructor, etc. And you can use these for, high flex learning, or if you're doing asynchronous learning, like you need to deliver recorded materials to your students, or even something simple like leaving instructions. If in the case of a planned absence, you could leave instructions for your substitute or your class. So, people are interested in Skype and Zoom and all that stuff, but there's a lot more you can do with the camera. And keep in mind that beyond just the apps that are on board the panel, I don't want to spend too much time on this point, but the Optoma panels feature an inbuilt USB switch. So if you have a room where you have cameras installed in the ceiling and microphone arrays perhaps, you can wire those devices back to the interactive panel, and then when an external laptop is connected, those devices in the room are shared with that external laptop. And that's a really powerful feature when it comes to value engineering your room. And if you're interested in more, we'll be happy to share that with you. Something I want to point out, in addition to being able to connect USB webcams, you can also connect USB microscopes. And this is a really fun way in a time when it's sometimes difficult because we have students remote. It's hard to engage with students and give them that hands-on experience. And I recently went online and I purchased a USB 10,000 times microscope for under $20. I think this piece was $19.95, and you can connect it to the board and capture all sorts of images and interact and create markup. And I want to just show you a couple examples of images that I've captured using my USB microscope. Here we're looking at a ladybug head. There's a ladybug jaws and mouth parts. Here we're looking at a cross section of a human vein and human arterial wall. Here's Spirogyra. Forgive me, I'm forgetting the word of this. It's algae. Here you're looking at algae, and you can actually see down to the individual plant cells here. And here is a slide containing some forgive me, what are these? Goodness, these single-celled organisms. The name of these is, it starts with a P. What are they, Bob?
Oh, protozoa?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. And it's quite amazing that with a $20 camera, I'm capturing the intracellular level. I can make out the macronucleus of these cells as well as some of the other intracellular parts there. So think outside the box. There's really a lot you can do in regard to cameras and document cameras to provide that engaging experience in a time when we're often forced to work remote.
Okay, the next question is more related to like the hybrid or high flex learning environment, but what's the future of interactive displays in the classroom, particularly considering COVID?
Yeah, I don't want to. We're a little over time, so I don't want to spend too much time here. But I don't think I have to tell anybody on this call that 2020 really forced a lot of changes, particularly for educators and students. Many educators and students and organizations were forced to really make a leap into the online, distance, high flex type of environment. And I just want to point out that when it comes to grades K through 8, the lower grades, that in-class element is really, indispensable. But for grades 9 through 12 in higher education, it's becoming apparent that the flexibility that's been afforded by having made that leap into distance learning and high flex environments, people don't want to give up those advantages just because the schools are reopening. And high flex and distance learning and these things, I think the trend is that these are here to stay. And just want to point out that the Optoma Creative Touch panels really fit nicely into those environments. We've built in so many features, particularly around the input output functionality, as well as some of the screen sharing apps that we've built in. We've made it very easy to take this panel and integrate it with whatever teleconferencing system you're using, however you want to record your sessions, all the pieces that surround high flex and distance learning. We've made it really, really very simple to integrate with. So please, if you have questions, specific questions around those topics, please just let us know and we'll be happy to get you more information.
Awesome. Well, we had a couple questions here. I don't think we can get to them all, but there's a couple here that I think we can address pretty quickly.
Sure.
Speaking about Vizetto, is it just like Prezo? I'm not familiar with Prezo, but perhaps you are. I think it's...
I am familiar with Prezo. Prezo, for those who are not familiar with Prezo, Prezo is basically shall we call it a PowerPoint alternative? And it offers a different way of developing a presentation that's sort of modular. You can develop elements where you sort of zoom into an element, like we're going to take this section of the presentation and zoom into it, and then come back out and zoom into a different area. Vizetto, especially the stage program, the stage piece of Reactive Suite, is very different in the sense that it's non-linear. So it's not like you just go from slide 1 to slide 2 to slide 3. You can bring up different elements and interact with them differently. But what Vizetto does really well is it lets you embed into it elements that are not typical to a presentation. So you can embed video directly into the PowerPoint. You can embed screen shares from mobile devices directly into the PowerPoint. You can open up, or directly into the presentation, excuse me. You can open up Word documents directly in the presentation and bounce between them, depending on where the conversation goes, for example. And you can also create markup on top of all of it, and you can save it in different ways. So yeah, Prezi is a really neat tool. The Vizetto Reactive Suite is a little different, but yes, definitely along the same lines in the sense that it's not just a linear tool.
Okay, great. Another quick one. I think you covered this, and maybe this was covered after the question came in, but if a district is standardized on SMART and they're switching to Optoma, have you tested the SMART software with the IFPs? And how would that work? So I believe it's just it's really the SMART software would remain on the computer itself, and you can control that connected computer through the interactivity of the Creative Touch panel.
Yeah, absolutely. So if your school already has licenses for those computer programs, you can certainly just pair that computer with the Creative Touch board and continue doing what you've been doing already in terms of those particular learning management systems or softwares, etc.
Okay. There's another question related to AirShare, and basically AirShare can be used as an app that's on your smartphones and tablets, and that's how you would be able to send information from those devices directly to the Creative Touch panel. So it's just a matter of downloading the app onto those devices.
Yeah, and just to point out, if I may, that there's a couple. The audience polling feature is actually built into the panel in the sense that it's a web GUI. So when you, what happens is a QR code pops up on screen, and the students from their seats will use their camera phone, or you can manually type in the address. But it's basically a web page that launches that's being generated from the panel. And a lot of people confuse that AirShare tool with being able to share content from their devices up onto the screen. We use an app called Tapcast for that. And as it so happens, we've built in the functionality such that if you're using iOS devices, so if you have an iPad, an iPhone, or even a Mac computer, there's no software download necessary. You can just AirPlay to the panel as if it were an Apple TV, essentially. So perhaps I muddied that water more than clarified it, but just if those are particular points you're interested in, please, and we see, Heather, we can follow up with you concerning that particular point.
Awesome, thanks. One other question, I think this more relates to using Chrome and Google Apps just on the interactive flat panel itself. I believe that the best way to do that is just maybe have a Chromebook connected where you've got the capability to use all those apps and connect them that way instead of loading them directly onto the interactive flat panel itself.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want the full Google suite, adding a Chromebook or Chromebox is a really inexpensive way to just open up that whole world of Google software, essentially.
Right. And there's a couple other questions. We're going to have to move on right now, but we're going to get in touch with you afterwards. We're going to send you an email. We're going to provide you with links to different information. And but we have to move on right now. Thank you for all the questions. Appreciate that.
Yeah, any questions or comments, just put them in the box and we'll answer them in the hours and days to come.
All right, great. I wanted to share with you a couple of different case studies that we have. If you can go back one more slide.
Oh, there we go. Forgive me.
Thank you. Again, you can go to our website. It's optomausa.com. We have dozens of cases. You can look up how we provided different solutions for all the different applications that are out there. One very simple example is North Dakota State University is using our projectors in their training rooms. And after games, they review the footage to see what they can do to prepare for the next game, basic use for a projector. Also at Kingbridge Center in Ontario, they have large auditoriums and lecture halls where they use our large venue projectors. So again, these are very bright projectors with optional lenses that will put up a very big image in a room with high ambient light, and you get fantastic video out of those products. Another example is Colorado School District using our 75-inch interactive flat panels, again, Creative Touch. Basically, what you can do is have interactivity at the board, and they found that student engagement has improved dramatically with the use of the interactivity in the displays. We talked about CARES Act a little bit. Again, we have more information on our website about this, but since COVID-19, over a year ago now, the government has offered some programs out there that provide investment in hybrid learning and high flex environments, technology upgrades. So with our projectors, our interactive Creative Touch flat panels, you can use those funds toward this. We've had some questions during the presentation as well about, do we have discounting? Do we have demo pricing? Definitely, we want to get in touch with you. We have RSMs out there that will work with you to make sure that you can get the technology where you need it, when you need it. So we'll definitely work with you. So just to follow up again, some of the creative touch benefits that we have, some of the key advantages where some of the other products out in the market don't have these features, is the 4K UHD display panel with the 4K user interface. Roland talked about the TUV certification, ambient light sensor. Again, it's going to be easier on the student's eyes. Anti-glare, anti-fingerprint, very resistant glass, very solid construction on our interactive flat panels. So again, they're a very safe product to have within reach in the classroom. So they are very robust design. The very accurate touch points, the app marketplace that we offer, the TapCast Pro with up to 6-way split screen, and then also the quick draw pen that we showed you as well.
Yeah, the quick draw pen is really an important one because it really helps those who are not so tech inclined to really break through that barrier and just feel free to engage it. You know, you use it as a display for your computer, and when you want to do markup or use the whiteboard right on the screen, you just pick up the pen, and it's as simple as that. So I love that feature. And just want to point out before we get to the giveaway, look, if you are interested in these panels for your school, you think they'd be a good fit, you want us to have a chat with your administrators or your tech folks, in our follow-up email, we're going to send a link where you can sign up for a virtual demo, and we'll be happy to have a one-on-one call and discuss how these panels will fit into what you do, how your organization educates, and how these will fit into your lesson planning, etc. So please click that link if you're interested, and we can continue the conversation.
Okay, great. Get your fingers ready, everybody, and have the Q&A box open up. And the first, the question that we have today: what's the trademark name of Optoma's interactive panel line?
Yeah, for the ML750 projector, what do we call our interactive panels? I see a winning answer there, Bob. Do you want to announce it?
Yes, we had a couple that were close, but no cigar. But the winning answer was from Win Anderson.
Yeah, congratulations, Win. You've won the projector. We have your contact information as long as you put your accurate email address when you registered. If not, please feel free to enter it now into the chat, and we'll be in touch with you to get that projector shipped out to you. On behalf of everyone here at Optoma, thanks so much for your time and attention. We appreciate it. Please look for our follow-up communication, and don't hesitate to reply or reach back out to us, etc. Okay?
Great. Thanks, everybody, for joining Tech Talk. Have a good day.